Hey guys, so welcome back. So today I'm going to do an install of the Helix 7 fish finder on my kayak. I'm going to take my existing Garmin Striker 4. I'm going to put it on my wife's kayak. I'll do that in a separate video, but I'm going to take you guys through the complete install for this so you can see, you know, some of the intricacies of it and how I actually do it. So I'm going to use the existing holes that are already in my kayak, and I'm just going to rewire it the way that I need it to for this specific one. So this one is the Helix 7, the SI and DI. It has side imaging and down imaging. I don't have the Mega one. I didn't need all that, but we're going to put this one on there. You know, especially for shallow water, the side imaging really helps. So let's get busy with the install. Let's get it. All right, so the first thing I did, guys, flip this over because I want to put the transducer on first. This is the transducer here, wires here. And so the first thing I have to do is take this plate off. This is the plate that goes onto the transducer. And so this has to sit this way. You don't want it to go this way because then your transducer will sit up here and it'll be below your skid plate. You don't want that. So flipping it over like this, it's gonna go inside here just like this. That's how it's gonna be mounted. And then your transducer will ride below your skid plate. All right, so let's get this mounted. I gotta take this off first and mount this on there. The reason why I have these screws, these extra screws, because the hardware that comes with it will not fit this correctly. All right. The screws that I'm using are 3/4 inch, 10 by 24 stainless steel bolts with the nut that goes along with it on the back side just to hold it. All you need is a Phillips screwdriver and an 11mm wrench. Before you tighten everything down, you want to add the transducer bracket onto the mount. Then you can finish tightening everything up with the screwdriver, and then this is where you use the 11mm just to hold the nut in the back so you can tighten it up the rest of the way. The next step was just to mount the original mounting plate back to the underbelly of the kayak with the screws that were already used. And so you want to make sure that it's not too tight. You just want to make sure that these screws are hand tight, and that's it. Because if you over tighten it, you could crack your hole. Okay, now that I have that on there, I just put a little insert in there. That's what comes with it. All right, these little inserts go on here as well. Gotta line it up. Like I said, this is a size 11. All right, that's on there nice and snug. So now that that's in there, next thing I gotta do is take the wires through. Now we just take the wires, just go straight down through the transducer hole. And that's what you want it to look like, nice and flat to there, so there's no bulge coming out of here. So we're gonna flip it over and I'll show you the rest of it. All right guys, so now that I have the kayak flipped over and I have my wiring through there, there's two main types of kayak wiring through hull kits. One of them is the Yak Attack. I did a video on this one before on my old kayak where I used the Yak Attack through hull wiring kit. I'm gonna do this one on my wife's kayak, so if you wanna see that one, that video will be up pretty soon. when I purchased this kayak, it already had wiring. It had the Garmin Striker 4 on it, and the previous owner used the Wilderness Systems through-hole wiring kit, so I just left that one. This is, I believe, 1.25 inch hole. You screw this in there, and then it has this rubber piece where you can actually put the wiring through. It seals very nicely. This is, in my opinion, just as good as the Yak Attack one. Now that I have the wiring through the transducer hole, I'm gonna run this through and then into, and then I'm gonna place the wiring inside here. And this is where I'm gonna do my battery, and everything is right up here in the front. So all we're doing is just running the wires through there, all the way through. I'm not gonna bore you guys with all this portion, but I just have to take all this wire and get it through here, and I'm gonna make it nice and neat on the other side. All right, now that I have it through, I don't wanna pull it too tight, but I don't want it loose either. So what I'm gonna do, you just take the wire itself, or you take the rubber grommet piece, you place it inside there just like that. And then the hard part is just pushing this through. And so on the back side, you just take your thumb and push it out and down, and then it seals very nicely in there. All right, so now that I have the wiring through here, I need to get it up through the other portion. So this grommet is the same as this one, except it has two. One is for my transducer wire, and one is for the power cable. So you just pull it off, you're just pushing it up just like that to get it out. And so now I just need to take this wire, run it through here, and pull it up just enough to get my slack to here, because I'm gonna end up having my fish finder here. I may move it forward or backward depending on it. I like this area right here because it's away from any of my other things that I have to do here. We're just gonna run this through, and we just have to fish it through there. Just like that. So I'm gonna leave probably about this much play, because I know that my fish finder mount's gonna sit about here. And so we're gonna add this the same process. We add it within the grommet there, the rubber piece, and it's just gonna push back down in here, and I'll do that part once I get the wiring in. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna make this look a little nice and neat on the inside. So as you can see, I just took 2 zip ties, just coiled it up kind of nice and neat, because you want this to be a little organized on the inside of your hatch. And then have my wire here so I can adjust it however I need to. So the next step is just running the wire to the battery. All right guys, I have a 12 volt 8 amp battery. Yes, this is from Cabela's, but it was free to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it for now. And what I have is a 2-pole connector that is already on here with a fuse, and so I already have this connected and wired. What I'm gonna do is connect this to another 2-pole connector over here. It's already wired. I did this already just to save the time. And so I'm gonna actually go ahead and wire this in and bring it up out on the other side. And so what I'm gonna do to keep my battery still, I have some industrial Velcro that I'm gonna put on the bottom of this and inside my kayak. So that's the first thing that I'm gonna do. And they just come in little strips like this. So I'm gonna take one of these here on this side. So I'm actually gonna add 2 of these to this battery. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have this on the bottom of the battery, and the clamps, I don't even know what these things are called, but I'm gonna have this on the bottom of my kayak. The reason why I'm doing that is because if I do get water or whatever else in there, I'm gonna take my battery out constantly to charge up, so I don't have to worry about getting this dirty. Actually, I think I'm just gonna add 1 on there. I'm just gonna try it with 1 just to see how it works. And we'll go ahead and put this on there. So I'm gonna do this side first. So like I said, you want to make sure that the inside of your kayak is dry and dust free. So I'm gonna lay this across here. So just so you guys can see, that's what it looks like on the inside of there. And then I'm just going to turn this on its side, make sure this is kind of dry here. We had a little rain just a minute ago, so had to vacate and try it again. All right, now I'm just going to take this, peel it, and put this directly in the center of my battery. So it has two little holes right there, so that's going to be my guide. Just like that. All right. And I'm going to place this down there, make sure it sticks. Oh yeah. All right, that's not going anywhere. All right, so now what I have this 2-pole connector. I have this section here, and then all I do is plug this up. So now if I need to pull my battery, the wire stays, and then I can just pop the battery out and take it out. So I'm going to run this real quick. Since the Helix 7 comes with this specific thing, it's not going to go down through there. So I'm just going to have to run this backwards. So I'm going to put this on here for now. And then I'm going to run this down through here. I'm just going to run it backwards, that's all. And just like the transducer wire, I want to make sure I have enough. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to pop this off. This is the Scotty mount that's going to go on my wife's kayak for the Garmin Striker 4. So here is the Helix 7. I have it on a ram mount. These are just 10 by 24 screws onto the bracket for the Helix 7. And this has a ramp, this has a track mount. So what this is going to do is it's going to mount right here. Slide it right about there. And then let's turn it to make it a little bit tight. And so I can adjust this ram ball mount by loosening this up and make it turn here. Because I want it right about there somewhere. All right, so that's going to sit there, and then what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put these through here and get the right distance for my actual wires. So transducer wire in here, and power wire here. These are going to fit there. That's a good distance there. I'm just going to push this back in here the way I did earlier. Down just like that. I have to come back in here and plug this back up now. These just go in there, 2-pole connector just like that. Now that I have that, plug in the power. And then now for the transducer wire, I really don't have to have this in there, but I'm just going to plug it in for now just to check my length of the wires. And so push that in a little bit, and I think I'm good to go. So moment of truth, guys. I'm going to turn this way a little bit just so you guys can see. Hit the power button once, You have to wait a couple seconds and we have power. Success. That's what I'm talking about. And then once it comes up, it's going to give you the menu. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to run a simulation real quick just to check it out. Whoops. And hit exit. Wow. There we go. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. All right, guys, that is it. That is the install of the Humminbird Helix 7 on my Old Town Sportsman 120 PDL. It's not that hard. I am not an electrician. Just watching a couple other videos, it became pretty easy on how to actually do this, and the instructions within Humminbird are, you know, pretty easy. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and that it was helpful. If you have a kayak, let me know in the comments what electronics or what fish finder that you're actually running on your kayak, and also the type of kayak. Like I said, I really appreciate you guys hanging with me. If you like these type of videos, go ahead and leave a comment down below as well. And if you did like this video, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, you've never subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Really helps me out. And then share my channel with others so they can see the type of content I'm putting out. All right, guys, till next time, remember, God loves you. God bless you. May He keep you. Peace.